today we're going to make a slit mask for instrument player where they can have a gap in the middle of their mask to put their mouthpiece. The masks we make have two different sections. They have a piece for a nose wire, and they have a strap that goes around their head and behind their neck. And when they put it on, the sides cinch up to make it fit their face. But the overlap in the front is enough so that when they don't have their instrument on, it will still block this. Of course, this is not a mask that you wear normally. This is just what you wear when you're playing your instrument. So in order to make this, we have two sizes. The youth size, we're going to take two pieces of the outside color that are 4 inches by 10 inches long, and two pieces of the inside fabric that will go against their face that also are 4 inches by 10 inches long. The finished size of the mask is 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches, approximately 6.5 inches. For the adult size, you just cut it slightly larger. You'll have 2 of the front and 2 of the inside cut at 4.25 inches by 11 inches with a finished size of 6 inches by approximately 8 inches. Then you also need to cut a piece for the nose wire sleeve, and that's a 1.5 by 4 inch piece, and you cut one of those per mask. So to construct the mask, first you line up your inside and your outside pieces, matching up edges. You do that for both. And then you're just going to sew the top and the bottom, sew along the long edges using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and a straight stitch. Once you've stitched along the long sides of both pieces, then you're going to turn them inside out, or turn them right side out, and press them open. While you're pressing these open, you also want to take your nose piece and you're going to press this so that you fold your ends to the middle, fold the long sides to the inside, and then you want to press it like that so that when you sew it on, it will be a nice clean looking channel. So do all your pressing at once. Alright, now you have the two halves of your mask nicely pressed, and your nose piece pressed with the ends tucked in and the ends folded over so all the raw edges are covered. So your next step is to take one of these, they're identical so it doesn't matter which one, fold it in half, match up the short ends, fold it in half just to find that center. You can put a pin there to mark it. I'm going to do the same on your nose piece. Fold it in half to find the center, and then you're going to put the center of the nose piece on the center of the mask half, up close almost to the top of the mask, and pin it in place. Then you're going to sew along the top and the bottom of the nose piece, close to the edge, straight stitch, back stitch at the start and the stop to anchor your stitches. Don't sew over the short ends. You want them open to insert the nose piece. I used contrasting thread so that you could see what it looks like on this side. You'll use thread that matches the fabric of the front of the mask. So now we have our nose piece. So now this is the top. To construct the mask, lay your two pieces down with the outside fabric facing down, the inside fabric facing in, and your nose piece at the top. Your other piece, you're going to lay down the same way. You're going to overlap slightly. The overlap should be approximately an inch. And so it's helpful to have a ruler to see where that inch is. I also have mine laid out on a grid mat, which helps. From top to bottom, you want the mask to be 5.5 inches. So mine is a little, I don't think you can see that. You want it to be 5.5 inches from the top to the bottom. Mine here is not quite, is a little bit over that, so I'm going to adjust my bottom and slide it up slightly and adjust it until I get that 5.5 inches from top to bottom, and then measure both sides to make sure that it's straight across. Once you have that measurement, and make sure the bottom is overlapping the top, that the top piece with the nose piece is under the bottom. Pin it in a couple places, but not too close to the short ends because we're going to fold them over. So pin it towards the middle. So now the next step is to make the channel on the sides for the drawstring. In order to do that, we're going to fold the short edge over slightly, like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and then fold it again so that we end up with about a 1/2 inch drawstring channel. And this you can either press down or just finger pin. I find it's easier to press. You're going to do that same thing on both sides. So now I've pressed my drawstring channels over. It makes it easier to sew when they're actually pressed. And I'm just going to stitch from the top to the bottom along this inside edge, leaving the channel for the drawstring on the outside. Back stitch at the top and the bottom to anchor your seams. You're going through a lot of layers of fabric, especially in the middle, so you may have to help your machine along a little bit as you get there. See, we have the seam there and our drawstring channel open at the top and the bottom. Do the same on the other side. And then you can remove your pins holding them together. When you clip your threads, you see we have the mask with the top overlapping the bottom, and this is where they'll insert their mouthpiece. The final sewing step for the split mask is to make a little plate under the chin so that it fits snug. So if you turn the mask upside down, make just a little pleat in the center. You can mark the center or you can eyeball it. I usually just eyeball it. And you're only talking like 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch wide pleat. And then we're just going to stitch across it to secure it. And again, I used contrasting thread so that you could see it better. Of course, you'd use matching thread for the front. It's not terribly pretty, but it does make enough of a arc on the bottom that when they put it on, it snugs it up a little under their chin. Now all we have to do is insert the strap through the channels, and we'll be finished. Alright, so for the strap, I use a piece of a t-shirt that I have cut off. It's approximately 35-36 inches long, and it's a 1-inch strip cut off the bottom of a t-shirt, and then I've stretched it, which makes it curl in on itself. I've had the feedback that these make very comfortable straps because they're soft and they're just stretchy enough that it's easy to get it on and off and adjust. And then I have these spring toggles that I attach to the back of the strap. It makes it very easy to adjust, so you don't have to keep tying and untying. You can just put the loops over your head and then tighten it up with this. And then I use a safety pin to help pull it through the straps. But you can use a bobby pin or something else just to have something hard on the end of the strap to work it through the channel. So you put the safety pin on the strap. I like to do mine with the loop that goes over the head on the top and the loop that goes behind the neck on the bottom. So I start feeding from the bottom, feed it up through the channel, until that safety pin comes out the top. And you pull it around, and then you go down the top on the other side, feed it through all the way until it comes out the bottom. Pull it through, remove your safety pin, and then poke the two ends, squeeze your toggle, poke the two ends through the hole, and then you can even out the strap. And I'll have a picture at the end of the video that shows how it's worn. It'll be easier than trying to do that through the video itself, so I'll just have photos. So that's the mask. If you want to make a regular mask instead of a slit mask, you can follow the same procedure, except you'll just have one piece instead of two, and your measurements for the youth size mask is 6 inches by 10 inch, or for the adult mask it's 6.5 inches by 11 inches. But the procedure is the same. You just won't have the overlap. Thank you very much. Now we put this nose wire holder on the mask, and so the final step before you can wear the mask is to put a nose wire in. It can be made of pretty much anything because it's removable for washing. For these we're going to just use pipe cleaners. So I just have it's about a 2-inch piece of pipe cleaner. I tucked the ends in so it wouldn't be sharp, and just slide it in the tube that you created, kind of center it, and then when they put their face mask on, they can tighten it around their nose. That will help them if they wear glasses so that their mask won't fog up, and just help it stay on their face a little bit better.